About that. Okay, I'm going to start over and talk about the midterm again. Reiterate, Brianna was just saying that, reminding everybody that the due dates are there to help you kind of keep track of where you're at in the class. And my reflection is that if you guys were able to take this class in a standard classroom model, then we'd probably be behaving a little bit differently. But I know that life happens and things are weird, or can be. And so I say all that because I am turning in grades tonight so that you'll have midterm grades tomorrow. That is just a reflection of basically the things that you've turned in. If you haven't turned things in, everything up to now will have a 0 on it. But all that means is to remind you to turn it in. So whatever your midterm is, if you want to know what your actual grade is, just make sure you don't have any zeros. Everything is submitted, and ask me to look over that, and I can tell you what your grade is. Okay. And our midterm is going to be 1 quiz and 3 reflection questions. The quiz is I'm taking 2 questions directly from each of the 6 quizzes that we've done so far. And then the 3 reflections are, 1 is on critical thinking and the tools of artistic critique. 1 is applying the tools of artistic critique to viewing another culture or seeing something new. And then the 3rd is, how can you use what you've been learning in your regular everyday life? And I think, would you guys agree that what we're learning, even though it is geared around art, you can use it for your other classes and basically your university living as a whole? I also wanted to talk a little bit. Do you guys have any questions about those things? Okay. So, the quiz is, you can do open book if you want. You can even look at your old quizzes and do those same answers again, but I would only recommend that if the answers that you submitted the first time were correct. And the reflections, I do want you to think about those. Look at, as soon as you can, look at what those questions are and think about them for a day before you write about them. All right. The rest of the semester, what we're going to be doing, we need to go over the 3 remaining elements of art. We're going to talk a little bit about principles of design. Mostly that we're going to touch on it, and I want you to have it as a reference point. And then the rest of the term, we are going to be doing basically 3 things. One is each week we're going to be looking at a different area of the world or a different kind of art and learn about several artists in that. We are also going to be, I need to have everybody do a research project that I'll tell you guys about next week. And the research project will essentially be, you will pick one of those artists or artist styles to work on. And what you're going to be doing is pulling up several examples of their work, then using the tools of artistic critique, describe the work that you see, and then talk about the similarities in the works that you saw. Can you tell that these are all done by the same artist? Are they dealing with similar themes and stuff like that? So we'll have a list of artists as well. But then the last one, the last of the 3 things that I think is actually going to be kind of cool is everybody is going to make something as if you were living in the old Mali kingdom or the old Mali empire. And this could be anything. Cell phone cover is an example. You can, and there's different ways. If you wanted to do furniture, for example, then you could make the furniture. I think that might be kind of difficult unless you made it out of cardboard or something. But you could also take an existing piece of furniture and completely cover it so you can't see anything original, but that it looks like what you want it to look like. Or you could make furniture out of cardboard, and we can talk about that as well. You could make something scale. You could make it full size, depending on the intensity of the project. You could make something that only exists today, but what if it was made by the people back then? That's why I was saying a cell phone cover. or maybe you want to design a satellite, or one of the a couple students are in the nursing program. Maybe they could design, if they're interested in it, they could design what the first responders uniforms would look like. But the reason why I want to do that is I want everybody to use whatever capacity and talents that they have, and then apply the tools of artistic critique to what you could make associated with this culture, and then produce something that you think should exist in that culture that doesn't, essentially. And I'll talk about more about that too. But those will be the three things that we work on for the next month and a half. So it does sound like it could be a lot of stuff, but from what you guys have been doing, it sounds like everybody's going to be. You'll find it pretty doable. And the research project, I say research project just because it's research and it is a project, but like the class that I teach right now for juniors and seniors, the research project that they have has 4 parts to it. And one of the parts is an annotated bibliography with 8 citations. Another one is a PowerPoint, and another one, just a bunch of things like that. And I'm thinking what I may do for the research project is have you guys find citations that you can use and record them, and then do a PowerPoint where you just talk through it. And so you make a video of the PowerPoint. And so you would show maybe 5 to 6 slides where you'd show the people's artwork. You wouldn't be giving a biography, you'd just be talking about the art. And then why it's so, and then verbally you'd be applying the tools of artistic critique. And then the last slide would have the contents of your bibliography. I say bibliography, it refers primarily to books, but actual bibliography is whatever citations you use, whatever sources. And that could be, in my classes so far, we actually found that there is a university recognized standard for recording a citation that comes from an interview with an alien while you're on board a spacecraft after you've been abducted. So, I mean, they think of everything. Hopefully you guys won't have those as all your citations, but you can include things like YouTube videos, blog post articles, museum pages, website pages, articles from different news sources online, or actual real world physical books, if such a thing still exists. And but there are ways of properly recording all of those so that somebody else can look up the same sources you looked up. So I'm thinking that's what do you think about that? As opposed to writing everything out, you would have to write your own, you'd have to write your own outline, but then you could do it verbally, and you'd have to do it well enough so people could understand you. So, have your ideas formed and everything like that. But then you would have, you would record your verbal explanation of the slides. And I can send you to, or I will send out a couple examples of what that looks like. What do you guys think of that?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. So do you folks have any questions? All right. I want you guys to get ready for your fall break. And most of my steam was taken out when I realized that I had not recorded anything. But that's pretty much what I've got for this week. Any questions regarding this the last couple modules? Okay. All right. Well, if everything's good with you guys, then I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful, spectacular fall break. And I will look forward to talking to you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Thank you.